how do you see the evolution of international partnerships for clubs in the US and for the MLS outside of the US?
I think there's like two questions in one.
Yeah.
The first one is about how do we see the participation of other clubs. I think as part of the evolution of the league, we have also changed the way we view external content coming into the market, right? In the beginning, everything that had to do with soccer, we saw it with bright eyes and said, okay, this is great because it helped us create more awareness. It helped us to bring more attention to the sport, and it wasn't a moment in time that was so saturated. That was probably from the moment that I started, right, in 2013. 12 years later, we'll look at this very differently, right? Because it's not the same thing to have a tour of one of the big European clubs like Man United, like Real Madrid, that come here. They don't necessarily are thinking long run or establishing operations here. They just come, take some of the money, and go back to Europe. We don't see that as beneficial to the marketplace. On the contrary, having big events like the World Cup, we believe that those are the moments that bring attention, that create fandom, that help us continue growing the industry. We don't want to compete against those clubs. We're not threatened by that. We most of the time partner with those clubs that intend to come here. So we always try to be part of the conversation. And there's a lot of clubs, leagues, organizations that they have understood our role, right? We've been here in this market for over 2 decades, that instead of trying to establish themselves and start knocking doors and start operations from scratch, they come to us and we start talking about solutions. The reality is that the market has evolved. The fans are becoming more sophisticated. They understand better, and they know now the difference between a friendly and official match, those type of things. So we need to be more selective. And this is where I think the biggest shift has been, where we are now partnering just with with the best opportunities that, again, are going to give value to the market, more importantly, and also are going to give us the resources that we can continue using in order to pump back into the growth of Major League Soccer. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do in Soccer United Marketing is to bring some resources back to MLS. Just to give you an example, over the last 10 years, there has been an investment in infrastructure in terms of stadia, training facilities, all those elements that we need that didn't exist previously. We didn't have soccer-specific stadiums. So our owners have invested over $10 billion. And the only way to continue funding this is by bringing more resources into the mix. So that's to answer the question about how do we see the partnership with some of those clubs. And again, we're becoming more strategic, especially with Liga MX, right? Because the proximity, the geographical situation allow them to come more often. And that's where we are part of the conversation. We do this in a more organized way when we schedule things that doesn't cannibalize all the effort that we're doing as a joint venture, as a partnership that we have with Liga MX.